Hello and welcome to Bird's Nest Designs. Tonight we are going to do something super fun. Now I'm going to ask you, have you ever not signed up for a card class because you didn't have the featured stamp? I hear it all the time, but here's the truth. You don't need to have the stamp sets that I'm using to make the cards your own. So I'm going to show you exactly that tonight. We're going to make 2 cards using exactly the same consumables. All we're going to do is swap out the stamp set and make 2 completely unique cards, but using the same supply. So the supplies we're going to use tonight are exactly like a class kit would come. So all the pieces cut into the envelopes, you'll see as we get started. And I'm going to show you ways to look at that differently and ways that you can swap it out. And we're going to make 2, as I mentioned, completely different cards. So I hope after watching this video, when you see a class being offered, you look at it a little differently and maybe think, I could make that my own. I don't need to have that particular stamp set. All right, so let me turn the camera down. Say hello when you get here. Hello, Glenda. Hi, Tracy. Oh, before I turn the camera, I just need to do one more adjustment here. My screen's been doing something really goofy recently. Yeah, there it did it again. I thought I had it fixed, but the gremlins are coming back. Okay, I don't know. It doesn't want to move. Okay, well, hopefully you guys can see and hear me okay, because the screen on my side is looking a little weird. So if anything looks odd on your side, please let me know. Otherwise, we are just going to go on as usual and see how this goes. Okay. Hi, Mary. Hi, Gail. The problem is I can't see the full amount of your comments. Something is really wonky going on here. Anyway, I will do my very best, okay? Glenda said it's all good on her end, so we're going to go with that. If I miss your comments, I do apologize. I will get back to you as soon as the video is over. Answer any questions you might have. Okay. Let's turn the camera down. There we go. All right, so here we have tonight's kits. So as you can see, they are exactly the same. And for the first card, we're going to use the Notes of Spring Product of the Month stamp set. It is so stinking cute. When I first saw it, though, I'm going to tell you, I was like, yeah, cute, but I don't need that one. But then I did. And so here we are. I'm sure most of you can relate. But when I had the order and it popped up that I could add this for just $5, I was like, yes, of course we're going to do that. And after I show you this card, you'll know why I am so happy I did. All right, so as I mentioned, when I advertise a class, typically my class includes 3 to 4 card kits already prepped, just like these are. It includes some consumables, usually designer series paper, some ribbon, embellishment, something along those lines. So you get the consumables, you get the card kits. What's not included, of course, are the stamps, the ink, those kinds of things. So a lot of times I hear from my customers that they can't register for the class because A, they don't have the stamp or bundle, or B, they don't like the stamp or bundle, and maybe they don't want to buy it. So this is my way of addressing that and showing you how we can look at these class kits just a little bit differently. All right, so I'm going to put the second one off to the side, and we'll get to that after we create the first one. So in here, this is exactly as my kit would be. So I've got a daffodil. Nope, sorry, it's not daffodil. It's Darling Duckling. Why do both yellows start with a D? Okay, we have Darling Duckling 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. Then we've got a piece of, oh, where did my other piece of white go? We've got oh, you know what? This is the wrong one, but it doesn't really matter. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of pecan pie, but we are going to need an insert. So bear with me a moment. Here we go. I'm just going to go grab one over from my table. It needs a little bit of a trim. Wow, we are off to a good start. Denise is not, I thought I was so prepared. Okay, so we're going to trim this down. This needs to be 3 3/4 by 5. Your class kit would not be like this. It would have all the pieces you need. Okay, there, now we're working here. Okay, so we've got our 4 by 5 1/4 pecan pie. We've got 3 3/4 by 5 white. We've got a 3 by 4 1/4 piece of designer series paper. This is from the Mixed Patterns 12 by 12 collection. It's a really classic pack of paper. There's so many beautiful patterns. They're nice and subtle and can be used for many different things. So we've got that. And then I've got a piece of white that is 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. I've got a piece of pecan pie, but that one's a bit thick because I know what I'm going to do on the next card. So we're going to use this one. I just had already trimmed it down. So this one is 1/2 wide. And then you've got these die cuts, okay? So these, when there's die cuts, I do include them if they're not part of the bundle. And those ones come from this set here, which is called the Label Me Grateful dies. Okay, so I've cut this label out here and then 2 of these branches in Mossy Meadow. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna fold our card. And we're gonna stamp around the outside of our card to create a nice background look. So Denise needs a piece of scratch paper, and when there's none to be found, you just use a piece of computer paper, because I have been in my craft room all day today creating and cleaning up and not cleaning up, and you know how it goes. Okay, so we've got Darling Duckling ink, and we are going to stamp this fun image here all around the outside of our card. Okay, so we're just like, I just absolutely love this set. I'm so happy that it made it into my cart that day. Okay. Now, and if you love it and you don't already have it, there's still time. It is the current product of the month. So when you place a $100 order, you can add it. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm getting carried away with my stamping. But anyway, there we are. When you place a $100 order here in Canada, you can add it to your cart for just $5. So it's definitely worth it. All right, so now that we have the outside of our card all stamped pretty, we're gonna go ahead and take our white base here. Let's get rid of this for now. We're gonna get our white base and our designer series paper. And I've cut these so that it's just a 1/8 of an inch border around. So it's just nice and subtle, but look how it brings that pattern to life. So we're gonna attach, oops, bump it's coming at me. Okay, so let's go ahead and attach that. Okay, and then this piece here is gonna go onto our card like that with some bumpets. Hi April, hi Jennifer, nice to see everybody. Thank you for taking some time out of your Thursday evening to come stamp with me. All right, so this, oh my goodness, why doesn't that not want to come off? I think there's something going on with this sheet of dimensionals, because the backs have been a little challenging to come off, and normally, you guys know me, I love dimensionals, and usually they just come right off. Okay, so there is our front. Now I'm going to come in and do some stamping. So we're going to need our insert and our label. And to start with, I'm going to grab my Mossy Meadow ink pad. And I'm going to use this little grassy whatever image right there. So we're going to take that. Oh my gosh, look what happened. I had these all in a in a basket ready to go for tonight, and they have all stuck together. Okay. All right, so we're going to use this one. And it's going to get stamped on our label, not quite near the bottom. So once in full strength, just like this, then I'm going to lift it off and move it over, and I'm going to stamp it again to get that second generation stamp. So we have a little bit lighter, and it just kind of gives it more depth. So we've got that stamped on there. And then I'm going to switch to pecan pie. And we're going to stamp our little fawn. He's just, or she or he is just so adorable. Down here in the corner. And then we're going to take this solid image, so it's like a distinctive one here. All right, I don't know if my chat has quit working all together or if nobody's saying anything, but hopefully I'm not missing your comments. Okay, so we're going to stamp it off once on my scratch paper, and then we're going to come in here and we're going to fill in this adorable little guy. All right, so there, how cute is that? So adorable. So we're going to take those two pieces and put them off to the side. And then there's a scrap piece of white. So your kit in my classes, your kit would include a piece. It wouldn't be this big, but you would get the scratch piece that you could stamp on. So we're going to stamp the fawn again. Thanks for letting me know you guys are still there. Okay, and then we're going to stamp this fawn off one more time. And then come in here and stamp that guy. Okay, so now we're going to grab paper snips and we're going to give a quick fussy cut around this adorable fawn. We'll need that scrap paper, I think, for our second card as well. So I'm going to show you guys how to look at your stash if you don't have this Notes of Spring, but you want to recreate this card. How you can look at your stash to determine what stamp set you could potentially use. So I have not made the silly safari card yet. We're going to do that crafting on the fly later after we finish this card. But I'm going to talk you through how I decided to use that one, what was the deciding factors, and all those different things. Okay. Let's just cut this guy out. Let's go around all the pieces. And you can do, when you're fussy cutting, lots of people like to leave the border. Some like a thick border, some like a white, some like a thick border, some like a thin border. Some of my customers I've stamped with live, they like no border at all, so they cut right along that stamped line. So it's whatever you like. I like to do the white line because I feel like it's way more forgiving. Oh, Glenda's got a pregnant mama deer around her. That's awesome. Hi, Margaret from rainy Illinois. Hello from snowy Saskatchewan. Yes, it is still snowing here. Okay, so we've got these pieces. One more thing we want to stamp is our little greeting sentiment. So on this strip of pecan pie, I'm going to use some early espresso. And I am wanting to create some thank you cards. So this is a perfect opportunity. I'm going to use a little note of thanks from our sweet little stamp set. Like that. Just a little bit crooked, but that's okay. And okay, so now we have all of the pieces that we need to create this card. I'm just going to trim that down. Alrighty. So here's all our pieces. Let's bring in our card base again. So what we're going to do is on our label here where we stamp the grass, we're going to grab our bumpets. Oops, those are little baby bumpets. I don't want those. I want the big ones. Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to put it on the card like this. So I want my bumpets. I don't want them right on the edge. You'll see why in a minute. I'm going to just kind of put them down like this. Okay, and then I'm going to put one over here where it's right close to the edge where it's going to sit on our Darling Duckling card base. Okay, now this one is going to go like this. Off the side. I still want some of the card. I don't want it right to the edge. just like that. Then we're going to take our sweet little fawn and we're going to put bumpets on her. And then we'll just position her right here at the bottom of the grass. And look how beautiful that is. Isn't that so pretty? Okay, now we're going to take our branches that I had included in your kit. Okay, remember? And we're going to take a little bit of liquid glue. And just put a tiny little bit. This stuff goes a long way, so you just need a little bit. Don't worry about sticking the whole thing down. It's not going to go anywhere. And we're going to just tuck that underneath our label. You can have the leaves. That was kind of cute, actually. We can have our leaves kind of up like that if we want to. Okay, 1. And then 2. We're going to do the same thing. And this one is going to go in here like that. Maybe make it just a little bit shorter. That one, a little bit of wiggle room with our liquid glue. We can kind of tweak them where we want them, just like that. Isn't that sweet? All right, then our little sentiment, what we're going to do for that one is put another bumpet behind the front of the beginning of the sentiment. And then that is going to go right here. Just make sure your words are not covered by the little guy's knee there. Okay, now, isn't that cute? Of course, we need to add our inside. So we're going to layer our white onto our pecan pie. And then to the inside of the card. And then we're going to add a little bit of bling. That. And for bling for this card tonight, I have chosen the Opal Rounds assortment. So they were in my collection. The color is perfectly what I wanted. I don't know if they are still current or not, but we all have bling in our stash, so you can go ahead and use anything you want, just like you can use any stamps that you want. So I'm going to just put one down here. And then I'm going to fill a bit of this white space in up here with a couple more. Okay, so there is card number 1. What do you guys think? I'm looking at the comments. Let me know what you think of this card. Okay, now I'm going to put this stamp set away and all my stamps. And then we're going to swap themes here. And we're going to switch to using the Silly Safari. So by doing that, I hope to inspire you to look at those class kits a little differently. Just because you don't have the featured stamp set does not mean you can't partake in the class. Get those consumables, get the stamp kits, and use whatever stamp set you have at home that you want to use on there. Okay, so I'm going to set that one off to the side just like that so you guys can still see it as we're creating along. So again, I've got the exact same kit. This one actually has the paper cut like it should. Okay, so exactly the same pieces. Again, this is how your card kit would come in the class. Now I have chosen to use the Silly Safari as my second option, okay? Now, why did I choose this one? Clearly, they're extremely different style stamps. Both animals, yes, but the reason I chose this, I looked at the color scheme first of all, and I thought, okay, well, right off the bat, I'm like, well, I don't want ice cream. I don't want like a summery theme. I don't want anything like that because the colors are a little more neutral. So I decided that something more grounded. And then because this one was an animal, it kind of had my thoughts there. And so I thought, let's try an animal. Anyway, long story short, I came to this one because I want to use this giraffe. Number one, the colors jive. The cute little giraffe. And as I mentioned, I want to make thank you cards, and this one has a thank you big time. The sentiment will fit in the same kind of style that this one does over here on the side, so it's not like a great big round sentiment. And yeah, so that's kind of my process when I look at what I have and what I want to use with it. So I hope that you guys find that inspiring. I don't look at it and say, okay, this is a deer, I need to find a deer. No, I don't do that. Like I said, I look at the colors, I look at the concept, and I try and put it all together in the composition it is. So the other thing to consider is the size. So this is my stamped size. I wouldn't want to use like a great big, like that great big butterfly, because of course it won't fit there. Oh yes, Wildcats, April, great one. That would be a really nice one as well. Unfortunately, I don't have that one because for the longest time I was getting rid of all my retired stamps when they retired and selling them off and whatever. And now, if I'm being honest, I kind of regret it. Anyway, moving on. Okay, I'm seeing lots of people saying they love this. They're waiting for their stamp or they've just gotten it. Love it. All right, so let's, oh, I pulled that out and I don't need to because I already have it on blocks here. Okay, so let's go in the same order we made that first card. So we're going to fold this card base. All right, and then we're going to grab that scratch paper again. And for this one, if you look at the stamp set, this one had the flower stamped out. This one, we could use the little, this leaf here. So that's what we're going to use for the stamped background. I'm going to leave this kind of over here, although the glare gets a bit crazy. So let's stamp our leaf. And again, you're just kind of going on the outside of the paper. And you know, there's been times where I've done this and used like, you know, swapped out my stamps just to try something different. And so often I'm like, oh my, I think I love this alternate card even more. So you just never know. There's all kinds of surprises waiting for us. We just have to open our mind and be a little creative. So let's turn this like that. Maybe we want this one coming this way. This one coming in there. Okay, I think we're good. So that will be that. And then we can go ahead and adhere our designer paper to our panel of white. Again, if you missed it in the measurements and you want to recreate this layout, they will be on my blog on Sunday at 10 a.m. It goes live. So you can visit it at createwithbirdsense.ca. Just click on blog or scroll down the page and you'll see it, and all the measurements will be in there for you. Okay, and that is going to go on here. Like that. We'll add these bumpets. Okay, oh my gosh, there's something really going on with these ones. They don't want to come off the backings. All right, so there's our card. Now we're going to do our stamping. So I'm going to grab my scratch paper again. I do have grid paper on it somewhere. I just don't know. It wasn't quick at hand. This was closer. Okay, so we've got our insert, we've got our label, and we've got our sentiment strip. So let's start with the sentiment because I know which one we're going to use there. We're going to use the thank you big time. How cute is that? Oh, that's the wrong ink. I want early espresso ink on that one. Excuse me, my voice is starting to crack again. I'm still not 100% over this terrible cold I've been hanging on to. Getting there for sure, but still hanging on. Okay, there's our sentiment. And then we're going to stamp the giraffe. But just like we did with this guy, we had something stamped behind, right? So why not use this leaf again? But we do need to clean it because I don't want to stamp a yellow leaf. I want to stamp it in Mossy Meadow. Oh, and I got it on my table. Oh gosh, and good thing that's just scratch paper. This is why you shouldn't clean stamps the way I just did. Okay. All right, now we're going to take this little leaf And let's just kind of stamp it. Which way does our draft? First of all, let me see this. Remember, I haven't created this card already. We're creating it on the fly here together. So our giraffe is this way. I think he's going to go like that. So I want this leaf to kind of come out the left-hand side. Oh, now the ink is pooling. Okay, there we go. And we can do the same thing. We can do that to second generation stamping, just like that. Fun, I like it. All right, so now on that scrap piece of paper we have, where did I put it? Here it is. Okay, those two are done. Now we've got our insert and our scrap paper. So let's go ahead and stamp our little giraffe. Not really that little, is he? It's quite large. Okay, so on the scrap paper, we're going to stamp him here. And then we're going to stamp him again down here. Now notice I'm cutting off part of the neck, so it's just short there in the inside of the card. All right, let's go ahead and color this. Now in the description of tonight's video, if you read it, it did say that we would be using the exact same consumables, which means we're not going to introduce blends here because we didn't use blends on that first card. What I am going to introduce is the blender pens, which we can use with the ink pads we already had pulled out from that first card. So why I put my scrap paper away, I don't know, because we definitely need that. All right, so let's start with some pecan pie. I so often forget about these blender pens. They've been around for so long, and I used to use them before we had the blends all the time, and then blends came along and I don't pull these out near as often. But we're going to go ahead and use them to color our giraffe. And it's really cool because you'll see, if you're not familiar with these blender pens, they do come like you saw when I took them out, they come in like a case of 3. I'm just touching them to the ink pad. You can, of course, put some ink refill on a glass mat or your silicone mat and pull from that, but I find it's just as easy just to grab it off the top of the ink pad. Okay. And if you don't want it as dark, then you just keep coloring and the color will fade as the ink fades off the marker. There's a lot of spots on this guy. Okay, there's our pecan pie. So now watch what I do. All I'm going to do is scribble this onto my scratch paper until the ink runs clear again. Now it's likely going to stain the end, but as long as it's coming off clear, then that ink will not transfer to our next ink pad. Grab our Darling Duckling, and just to show you, so there's the one we just used. It runs clear, so now I can just grab the new Darling Duckling ink. Just sample it here, make sure, and then we can go ahead and color. So this is a great alternative if you want to color, but maybe you don't have all the blends right now or the Stampin' Right markers. This is another alternate way to get the color on there using what you have, because you can use the ink pads from your collection. And then once we're finished coloring him, we'll go ahead and cut him out and put him on top of the card, just kind of how we situated on that label. My gosh, this little draft just makes me smile. So cute. Okay, oh, we better color this too. His mane. Probably should have been brown, but it's crafting, right? So it can be any color we want. We could have colored it pink if we wanted to. It is a cute giraffe, Glenda. I love this stamp set so much. Okay, so a good habit to get into when you're using your blender pens is run that ink off before you put the lid back on, because there's a good chance if you think you're going to do it later, you're going to forget. And when you clean up, you're just going to put it away, and then it won't be good the next time. Okay. Now we can go ahead and grab our snips and just cut this guy out. And then the card is going to come together super quickly, just like the last one did. So I want to see in the comments, for those of you watching me live or catching the replay, what you think of this theory of mine about using what you have and the ways to look at things to swap it out. Because, you know, we don't always have to do it the same. You may not like the stamp sets I choose. There's lots of reasons you might want to do it, but I just think it's fun to use what you already have in your collection. So let me know in the comments if you learned something new today. If you already do this, maybe you already get kits and then swap them out. And I also want to know what you think of my alternate choice here with the Silly Safari. We had one other suggestion of the Wild Cats, which would be fabulous had I had that one still. Yes, Glenda, it is good for creativity to change it up. Think outside the box. Make it your own. Make those creative juices work. Okay. Oh, I see the screen rolling. Oh, I love it. Glenda says good for your creativity. Paula loves swapping. Catherine's loving that I encourage you to use what you have. Absolutely. And Jan thinks it's a great second choice. Margaret, love this idea. I love that you guys are thinking outside the box and already using this swapping in your creating. I love it. Okay, now let's go back to our card. So here's our giraffe. Now, the nice thing about him is if we don't want his neck to be quite as long, we can just cut it off because he is just paper, right? Okay, so I'm going to trim. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let's hold him on our die here. And then I'm just going to trim. Oh, look at, I actually really use some scrap paper to cut out that die. Okay. Now we can put some bumpets on the back of our giraffe. Oh, the bugs. Yes, the bugs would be good on anything. Don't you agree? Glenda says the bugs, and I think those things, they're just so sweet. They could be used on any card. Okay. It does make you more creative. I agree, Margaret. All right, let's go and bring that card back in. So here's our original one. Okay, this is what we're kind of creating from. Now, what if we were to switch the card? So right now, this is how it would be, right? And we're going to put our leaves. We're going to put some bumpets, of course, but we're going to put our leaves there. But one thing I didn't really think out was the fact that now we have like this leaf and then this leaf, and it looks a little bit odd to me. So what if we just swapped it over here? And we could do a leaf here. To me, this looks a little bit more balanced. What do you guys think? Oh my gosh, now my leaves are all entangled. Let me know what you think. If you think it should be on the left or over on the right. I'm going to go ahead and trim our sentiment here. To balance it, yes, I agree. And then we can stick our thank you big time here. Oh, it's cute. Okay, let's go with that. So we're going to put our bumpets. Looks like he's eating the leaves. That's true. Giraffes do like to eat leaves, don't they? Okay, Jennifer liked it on the other side. She liked it the way it was on the left. Okay, so we're gonna have it kind of like that. You could do it any way you wanted to. That is the beauty of this. Like, you get to just stretch your imagination, use what you have, play with the composition. You could even switch out the colors, of course. If you were creating this from a tutorial, like if you purchased a tutorial, but you didn't have the stamp, you could just swap out the colors even. You could do so many things. What I like is that it's just an idea of where to start with the layout, the measurements, and all those things. Sometimes that's the hardest part, and then you get to be creative with using what you already have. Oh, you guys have so many clever ideas. Yes, balance is in your eye, so you can do whatever you like. You could swap it around however you want. But I'm just going to try this a little differently. But yes, the layout is where I'm going with this. So it's the layout, it's the consumable pieces, the color combination, all those things that make the card, and then you add your stamp set and you can recreate to make a very unique card. Alright, so there's our inside. Now, of course, you could color the giraffe. For the sake of tonight's video, and the fact that I can feel the cough starting, I'm going to cut it short and not color the giraffe. But we're going to go ahead and finish the card, the remainder of the card. So we'll put that in the inside. And then we're going to grab those same bling. The die and leaves, Margaret's asking, where are they from? They are from this Label Me Grateful dies, right here. All right, so now we're going to put these bling on. Put one here. And maybe on this card, we don't want to put them both up there. Maybe we want to fill some space in there. Play around, do what you like, make it your own. But there you have it. There are our two cards using the exact same consumable supplies. We've mirrored the image, swapped out completely different stamp sets. One is very cutesy and line art. The other is distinctive and very calming and beautiful. But you can see that we've created these cards, and I don't know about you, but I think they're both really awesome, and I'm so excited to have been able to create them alongside you tonight. Okay, I see some comments still coming. I'm going to see if I can jump back on the video here. Let's see what happens. Ah, it worked. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for spending some of your Thursday evening here with me tonight. It's always fun to welcome you into my craft room, even through our digital video here, and create along with you. I hope you liked tonight's video. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. Share it with your friends. Click the little thumbs up and the hearts. All of that helps to spread the word, and it plays with the YouTube algorithm or whatever it does, but it does help. So I appreciate all of that you guys do. All right, so again, here's the two cards. If you're just tuning in now, let me know in the comments which one of these two you prefer. If you like the Notes of Spring or the Silly Safari. I'll just stay on for just a second to see which ones come in as favorites. In the meantime, I do want to tell you guys that tomorrow I am launching a brand new class. It's the Spring Use What You Have card class, so it goes right along with tonight's video. I've created the 4 cards that you'll see on the graphic using the Woolly Friends stamp bundle, but I've also taken the exact same consumable kits and created them with 3 different stamp sets. So I have created a total of 4 different sets of cards. And I'll share those along throughout the marketing, but the idea is to get the layout, get the consumables, and stretch your creativity to use what you have. So keep an eye on your emails for that. It will be launching tomorrow, and registration closes on April 15th, so don't miss out. It's going to be a really fun one. All right, I'm seeing some comments coming in. Notes of spring, Jennifer can't choose. Janjo loves them both. So does Mary Jean. Okay, I know, I put you guys on the spot when I ask you which one's your favorite, but it's just interesting for me to know which one resonates with the people who are watching. All right, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and I will see you back here next Thursday for another Stamping Live video. Cheers!